path was different, so I didn't grow up thinking, oh, I want to do something in fabric, but as my life evolved, it turns out that it became a major part of what I did, and all the knowledge that I gained from my mom and my grandma were all a part of helping me develop the fabric for Comphy. So my grandmother used to make our sheets years ago out of these really soft flannels, and I think that's how I learned that sleep should be soft.
At the time the company started, you're kind of in that selfish teen years, so I don't think that I fully absorbed at the time what mom was going through and all of the obstacles and the extreme pressure she was under in starting the business. I think now being an adult and looking back on that time, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did all of that. But you know, at 15, 16, 17 years old, your mom's just cutting fabric on the living room floor and working with patterns and talking about, you know, this big dream that she has.
When money got tight and I couldn't gain financing, and you're maxed out on your credit cards, and so when Jess went off to college, I rented our family home, and I moved into my warehouse in Los Angeles and made an apartment in the warehouse and lived there for about 8 months while I was trying to get the business off the ground. And our first arrival was like 1,000 sets of sheets, and the brushing was wrong when they arrived, and so we knew we were going to have pilling. So we had to pull the entire load. We were able to give it to charity, but yeah, our whole first run just had to sign over our family home as collateral as well. So yeah, I was down to the it's all or nothing.
You entertain the idea of like, oh yeah, that's great, Mom, like go for it. But I don't think I was really connecting the dots of this huge leap she was taking.
I started the entire company on credit cards and just lived paycheck to paycheck. And
but now looking back on it, being with the company for 13 years, having a better understanding of what it took in the infancy of the company to get it to where it is today, it's astonishing what she was able to come up with. And I think it's a true testament to her character and her drive. I mean, the fact that as a woman, you know, in the early 2000s, starting a business in your living room as a single mom with all the odds against you, taking the financial risks that she took, takes a lot of guts, and something as a mother now looking back can really appreciate that she was taking this leap of faith for our family, for our life.
one of the bigger challenges was in finance. Like, banks just really didn't loan money to women. I mean, you had to have perfect credit, and it was just a challenge, something that the system wasn't set up for single women to take loans. So I remember not being able to get, even though I had perfect credit, not being able to get any kind of significant loan. Then they told me to go to small business. Well, while I'm trying to do a startup, you know, you've got to put together a 200-page novel of what your business plan is, and I couldn't do both, so I had to, you know, abort that whole plan too.
She is a force in our industry. She understands quality, she understands texture. You know, she'll be in the back with our seamstresses looking at the weave of our fabrics and really has a deep comprehension of what makes Comphy great and what makes our material so unique. So I think from that standpoint, she's taken this passion for fabric and turned it into a knowledge base where she is somebody that you would look to as a specialist in our field.
But yeah, it wasn't easy then. You know, once the business is up and going, then everyone wants to loan you money. But in the beginning, that wasn't the case. And I just think on a whole, you weren't shown the same level of respect as a man that had an idea. It was just like, oh yeah. And especially, he wanted to start a linen company and make luxurious, pretty linens. Like, yeah, that's nice. And sort of very, I would say the best way to describe it, it was dismissive. People weren't rude, but they didn't buy in at all either. So that part was very challenging. And then my daughter was still in high school, and I quickly realized that to get the company off the ground in textile, I needed to either go to New York or Los Angeles. So I commuted back and forth for the 2 years till she finished high school. So I would fly down for 3 days to California and then fly back up to be with her and try and balance that time with her dad. And yeah, it was a lot. My very first customer was Ritz-Carlton. I knew that what I wanted for my spa was everything that every other spa director wanted, so I knew I had the product and I knew it would be successful. It was getting it to market and going through, and I had to keep the prices low.
For me, it's always about quality customer service and giving that standard of Comphy, but also helping people define and understand what their needs and necessities are for a vision.
4 or 5 people have been with us for 10 plus years. Another probably dozen people have been with us for over 5 years. So they're very much part of our family, as are their children, our husbands, wives. It's definitely a family culture, and we all chip in and help each other out. Christmas time, everyone's in the warehouse working together. It's a team-oriented, family kind of casual atmosphere.
Spain and China, and we're present in so many different places of the world.
Having developed a brand in a market where typically it's a commodity and there aren't brands, so I'm very proud of having built a brand, especially in that market, and knowing that we're known around the world is sort of a big, that feels big. For me, it's all about customer service and quality, and I think they go hand in hand. I've maintained my quality throughout and to this day, even though costs have changed, and obviously there's many ways that you can adjust things to create better margins, but that's not something that Comphy will ever do. I want our quality to be maintained, and I want my customers to have the best service possible.
It makes you proud. It makes me proud to be a part of the company. It makes me proud of my mother, of our family, what we've accomplished. And it makes me excited for the future. I mean, really, Comphy's just started to scratch the surface, and though we are, a leading provider of spa linen, we're an award-winning microfiber for luxury at home, we still have a lot in the tank, a lot to keep going, a lot to create, explore, expand. And I think even though we have been in business for 17 years, I still think of us a little bit in our infancy. Like, I think we have a lot more to bring to the table, a lot more to grow.